Hi, I am Queen D, and this is Queen Court's Conversation on WRJR. I'm excited today. Thank you for showing up in the Meta Universe. This is a live stream, and I'm excited about it. It feels a little uncomfortable, but I'm with my family and friends, okay? And today, we are going to be talking with boss-approved Queen herself. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. This is Queen D of Queen Court's Conversation. First, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to a stimulating, fun, interesting, energizing, and inspiring conversation. And today, I have this beautiful queen with me. Her name is Aniesia. Don't you just love that name? Aniesia. I can say it all day. Aniesia Williams. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. But first, I just want to say, hello, how are you?
I am good. Very, very good. It's 2023. It's still Aquarius season, so all is well.
Okay. Happy birthday to all the Aquarius out there. And next one, don't forget the Pisces, okay? I had to add that in there. But first, I want to say that, you're from North Carolina?
Born and raised in Raleigh. Family lives in Greensboro. Went to school at North Carolina A&T State University. So yeah, this is home.
You know what? It's so nice to have someone from home. My whole family roots are here in North Carolina. And even though I was born in New York, I feel that I'm a North Carolinian because my parents are North Carolinian and all of my relatives are out there. So I just want to say hello to all of you guys out there. And you know what? Anisia's relatives should say hello too. But I'm excited because you are such a trailblazer. I just want to say that. I got a chance to kind of binge you last. That's what we do in this day and age. We binge people because that's what we have to do. We're such busy people these days that when we get a chance to be in the house with the snow or the rain, we just want to sit back and get the popcorn or wine or tea and binge. So I learned so much about you. First thing I'm excited about is I saw that whole thing on Family Dollar with that lotion. And I'm going to tell you, I grew up with eczema, okay? And my son has eczema. So I was like, okay, that's a good idea. So tell me, what inspired you to do the dollar store?
Well, actually, to be honest, I was very surprised when they reached out. And this was probably at the very beginning of the influencer movement. Mm-hmm. And so they asked me, because Family Dollar is headquartered out of North Carolina. Oh, and so they said, yes. So they said hey, would you, be open to doing some type of, activation or what have you with us? And I was like, okay, sure. And I asked well, why did you choose me out of all these people? She was because you are homegrown here where we are, so you understand the value. You grew up with Family Dollar, so it's different than grabbing someone from California and it just appeared somewhere. So that's how that ended up happening. But it was crazy to see my face on a coupon. That
is so exciting, right?
Yeah, that was mind blowing. But it was a really, really good partnership that we did. I met all of the brands that are inside of Family Dollar as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a really, really good partnership.
So when you started, was it just because you just like that particular brand of lotion?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just the combination of everything. So everything that you probably folks don't realize and understand, everything that you can buy in Target, they probably got it in Family Dollar too.
Okay.
Now, it may cost a little bit more in Family Dollar, price, demand, but a lot of those purchases and things like that for folks of color in rural neighborhoods, they may not have a Target that's, maybe 20, 30 miles away, to get to. But Family Dollar is right on the corner,
Yeah.
So it's much easier for them to be able to access and to get the same things that you can get in some of the same stores there.
Okay. And if you can see her, she has beautiful skin, all right? Let's just put that out there. So it's nice to have you on a coupon. Everybody want to get that coupon, okay? But growing up, who were some of your mentors that kind of inspired you to bring you to where you are today, would you say?
I was going back and forth about that. My inspiration or my drive to get out was just I knew that this was a place that I was in, but I was not supposed to be there. Like
Yes.
I always felt like
Yes.
this is not like my resting place. This
Yes.
is not where I get comfortable inside of this space. And so my inspiration was me.
I love that. Don't you just love that?
You know, it
be your own kind of beautiful.
Because
be
you
your
have
own
because
inspiration.
because you have to be.
Yes.
Because if you can't do it for yourself,
right.
If you can't do it for you, then I don't know how you're going to do it for somebody else,
right? Absolutely.
And so it was my drive of how can I be a vessel for someone else to show an example of this is how you can do this, right? So even if you have nobody, it's me and Jesus.
Okay.
And how are we going to get out of this and work through this? But that was my inspiration. And even, you know, going to school, like I said, I went to North Carolina A&T. There wasn't like a teacher that was like, oh my God, you know, like it wasn't right. It wasn't that. It was just the sheer will, like I have to make it. Like there is no other choice. I have to figure this out.
Yeah.
And how can I figure this out the best way that I can? So now in my adultness and over 40 and, you know, 20 years in doing the things that I do, I now reach back and say, hey, I don't want to have you to go through the same things that I had to do. Like, you don't have to take this 10-year, you know, journey that you don't have to take. We can cut this in 5.
Okay.
So now that's my responsibility, is to make sure that I provide space and room and opportunity for somebody else to be able to do that. And it's not even about being a mentor or being inspirational to somebody else. It's just like, that's my calling for me to do. Right,
you know, and it's so important to know what your calling is, because once you know who you are, everything is so much easier.
Absolutely.
Right? I always tell people, you know, nobody can do you better than you.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I love that, because that is a blessing when you know, holding someone else's hand and pulling them up and supporting them and showing them like, look, it took me 10 years. These are the learning tools. And I'm going to show you how to get there quicker, so you don't have to go through what I went through.
If it's one thing that I say, and I truly believe, as Black women, we are over-mentored and under-sponsored.
I love that. You're absolutely correct.
Like, I mean, they will mentor you till the cows come home. But I need somebody to sponsor me, to be in rooms that I am not in, to say, you know what, I'm taking you with me over here. And when I have made a space, I'm also going to make a space for you too. And that's the sponsorship. But Black women, we are extremely, severely over-mentored and under-sponsored.
And another thing that I feel, you know, this is Black History Month coming up, Another thing, you know, is that they try to pin us against each other. You know, sometimes you feel like you're jealous of that person, but you don't even know why. And it's almost this feel like it can only be one in the room, one on this, one on that. What do you feel about that?
Well, you know what? I think that, you know, there is a complex, and as us as a people, I think we really need to have like grown-up conversations about that, because there are some people that still have the mentality that they want to be the only person in the room, that they are comfortable with being maybe one or two, because then in their minds, like, I have this position and I have this role, so I don't want a whole bunch of y'all up in here because I'm in here, and that's accurate and that's true, and that happens, right? But it's switching of mentality. My thing is like, it's the more the merrier, the better. The better, because that makes it
stronger
equitable.
Together.
Absolutely, that's equitable. I think, you know, when it comes to Black women and, you know, this spirit of jealousy, or this spirit of, you know, well, she got X, Y, and Z and I don't have, you know, that's an inside job. That's inside. Like, you have to know that you are worthy of everything.
You're a woman of value.
Period. Like, you are worthy of all the things. You're worthy of love and the right job and the relationships and all of that stuff. You have to know that. No one else can put that in you except for you. But you have to also know that you can't cover somebody else's blessings. Right. Because what's for them
is for them.
It's for them.
I always
and what's
say
for
that.
you is for you. Like, I strongly believe there is nothing nothing that's gonna pass me by. That's for me.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
nothing. I don't care what it
Yes.
is. If it is for me and God says that this is mine,
Then there's no one else can have
then
it.
can't nobody else have it.
That's
So
right.
therefore, I'm not jealous of anybody.
Yeah, that's
Anybody.
definitely some work that needs to be done on
it's
the
an
inside.
job.
That's an inside job for sure, because everybody is born with purpose, and everybody's an original, I always say. And what's for you is going to be for you. Nobody can take that away from you.
That's a fact.
God would not put you on this planet to be a carbon copy
Of
of somebody else. Does that make any
I
sense?
tell people all the time, there's only one Aniesia, honey.
That's
And
right.
That's it.
Girl, speaking my language. That's what I'm talking about.
That is it.
That's what I'm talking about. And so how did you get into influencing? Like I hear you talked about the early days, and I'm looking at you, and you are just blossoming even more beautiful, because I was looking at the growth. And I was like, wow. And I saw your 2020. That was hard.
Yeah.
2020 was hard, and you really excelled in 2020.
Okay.
Because a lot of people who was in the house, I call it rediscovering, self-reflection. I mean, like, you could really learn a lot from being in there. If you were blessed, I always say, if you made it through 2020, you were meant to be here, girl.
Absolutely. I mean, I try to do things with purpose and with intentionality. And when the pandemic happened, I was working in LA. I had been in LA for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, and I'll never forget, I was working on Corona, actually. I was working on Corona. And, I saw things happening. And remember, LA and New York shut down first before anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got the last Delta flight out that evening before, like, the whole country shut down, and I got that last flight, and I was like, listen, that's why I will always and forever, side note, fly Delta, honey, because oh Lord Jesus, my diamond status got me on that plane. You hear me? Because I mean, the wait list to get out was
wow.
It's
like apocalypse.
It was like 200 people on the list that were going to be stuck in LA. I was not going to be able to get out. So I was like, Lord, thank you, Jesus, for diamond status. But anywho, so I decided, if I'm going to be stuck, I want to be home with my family.
Yes.
And so that's when I came back to North Carolina. And so one of my good friends, his name is David Johns, and he was like, Aniesia, like, there's this new platform called Clubhouse. And I was like, I'm not getting on Clubhouse. I don't know what this is. I am good. I got Twitter. I got my Instagram. I don't need another platform, right? Because a lot of times people go, well, if it's a popular thing, like, people will then go migrate to this and like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do other things. I'm like, listen, if your audience is not there, like, why are you killing yourself, to go to do something? Exactly, if your folks are not there. And so he was just like, Aniesia, like, no, like, you really, like, you gotta come listen, like, this will be a good thing. So I work from home. I've been working from home for years. So me working from home during the pandemic was nothing. It was like, this is what I do every day, all day. So I wasn't
pulling their hair out.
Right. So everybody else was like, oh my God, like, I can't do this. I'm like, girl, listen, like, I have a routine. Like, this is what I do every day, right? So I didn't have those effects of the pandemic for me because that was the way that I was already working anyway. So I was like, fine, okay, let me get on this Clubhouse and see, like, what is all the fuss about.
Yeah.
And so I got on, and I was in a room with a good friend of mine now. And we were just having a simple conversation and, just talking. And he said, well, what's going on with you? Like, what dragons are you trying to, get rid of today, right? And so we just started talking about that. So the next day, we open up another room and it's like hundreds of people in there. I'm just like,
all of a sudden you had like,
right. And so
people.
That's how Dragon Slayers was born on Clubhouse. And it literally, like that was, when I tell you, not my intentions at all, but we ended up with like 7,500 people in our group. We would go on like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Clubhouse for like 2 hours, and people would come in, and the topic and the point was always, what dragons are you slaying? And so that's how we got through the pandemic. And I didn't realize what I was doing for everybody else inside of that space, and giving them a space and opportunity to just to breathe and to be human. I mean, folks were, just getting therapy, like everything, all the things. But
Wow.
that's how I got through the pandemic.
And guess what? We'll be right back with more of Aniesia Williams. Thank you. Hey, and we're back. This is Queen Core's Conversation on WRJR. And I have the lovely, brilliant, exciting Queen Aniesia Williams. And if you don't know who she is, you're going to find out who she is. Because she's on coupons now, okay? All right, Aniesia. So we were talking about how the Clubhouse and how you start with this little small thing about how to slay your dragons.
Yeah.
And then you end with like thousands of people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And so walk us through that. So now you got 1,000 people, and now you got this whole Clubhouse thing. And then what? What did you do after that?
Yeah, so again, Clubhouse for me was never about like monetizing or like making money off of it and like, well, let's go build a podcast.
Right,
It was
right.
never that for me.
Yes.
It was literally always just a vessel for people to relax and to be themselves. And so like I said, we grew to like 7,500 folks, and folks were like, and trust me, like I got it. Like folks were, sending me, oh, like we can start a podcast here, like, oh, we can do, oh, I know somebody at YouTube, oh, I know somebody at Spotify, and it was just all the things. And how I know if something is for me, anytime I thought about it and like tried to like it, like
if it doesn't feel
it
right,
got
it's
me
not right.
nauseous,
Yes.
like the highs, and
Yes.
so I finally talked to my friend Duran, and I was like, Duran, I was like, this is not it. Like I know what sometimes what people want for you,
it's not for you.
it's not for you.
Right.
And that's an early lesson that I learned, doing all the things for everybody else, but it wasn't fulfilling to me. And so I was very adamant about having Clubhouse be what it was supposed to have been.
Yes.
And it served a purpose for these 7,500 people during this time frame.
Yes.
And they got what they needed. And I was okay with that. And so, I sunsetted it, and, the group is still, there and what have you. I haven't logged in over a year, what have you. But I have a tribe of people now that we are on group text. Is like 25 folks.
Wow.
And we still talk and communicate and things like that. And one of my good friends, like two of my besties, like I met through the pandemic, and we talk every day. Like we are still connected. So, a good came out of that. But I think as a whole, just how we work, how we show up, in self-care, I think that was something that the whole entire country needed, because it wasn't sustainable the way that we were, going and stuff. So I don't think we would never go back to like pre-pandemic of how we were, just how we were working, how we were processing and things like that. I don't think that'll never happen, but I think it was just a big lesson that the country just needed to learn. Like we literally, the whole
planet
world
needed a rest,
stopped. Like the entire world stopped.
It did, and I think it needed to stop. I make a joke about it because my tree, I have this like crepe myrtle in the front, never bloomed. That year it just bloomed. Everything was just blooming and pretty. I said it must be because no pollution in the air, because not cars and everything.
Exactly.
It seemed like the earth needed a rest.
It did.
And I think we needed a rest.
We did.
And like you, that's what made me interested in doing Queen's Close Conversation. I started just sitting on the step doing videos outside talking about how we're going to be all right, and let's pray for all the essential workers, and just doing stuff every day and just kind of encouraging people. And that is how I end up actually moving from being a teacher into going into this, because we were home. And we all needed an outlet and to talk to each other, to support each other. Love on one another was very important. And still is important. And I think now we understand how important that is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now I know that you do a lot of traveling, and I love traveling. That's like, I always say the world is your classroom. You learn everything from traveling. It's not what you think it is until you actually are there among the natives. So tell us about how that developed.
So I've always had two sides to me. I believe that women, especially Black women, we are multifaceted.
Yes.
You know, we're not just this or that, but we are a number of things. And so how I designed my life was to be in that way. So not only am I a fractional CMO, not only have I built companies and I help founders now build and scale their companies as well. Not only am I also, you know, an influencer as well, but I'm also a journalist. And I'll tell you a quick story about how that even came to be. So I'm working for the Army Corps of Engineers, government contractor in DC, and we were doing some trade shows. So the government does trade shows like how, you know, other folks do conferences, right? And so I was working for the small business office to try to make sure that you know, folks of color and minorities had equal access to government contracts. So I did a press release and everything, and I needed to get a placement for Black Enterprise. So one of my girlfriends, editor, I knew that she worked over there, so I called because I had been going to their conferences and stuff. So you know, you network and you meet people, right?
Yes.
And so so I hit her up. I was like, hey, I was like, I need to, you know, get this placement, this write up, or what have you about this conference. And she was like, oh, that's great. She's like, cool. We'll just write it up, and you know, I'll place it for you. So that's typically, just in case if you guys don't know how placements and things happen for editorial, that's one of the ways. So I was like, okay, cool. So I wrote up the article for her, you know, the article for her because she said, you know, she didn't have the time, but if I could write it, then she would place it. So I did that. So I gave it to her, and she was like, oh, this is good. She was like, well, I need your headshot and your bio. And I was like, for what? She was like, oh, because your name is going on this story. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. Wow. I was like, no. I was like, I'm in the background. Like, no. I was like, you know, I'm like, Lord, these people gonna fire me. I said, these people gonna fire me. I can't be doing this. Like, right? I'm like, I'm in the background. Yes. I'm in the back. And she was like, well, I tell you what. You got two options. Either one, you're not going to get this placement, or two, you're going to give me your bio and your headshot. And I was like, okay. That was how I started writing for Black Enterprise. I had no dreams of gander of writing for anybody. I had Black no Enterprise. Dreams of being a journalist. None. I was in the back.
Yes.
I was doing communications, internal, like that was my jam. I'm in the background.
That's amazing. I am
not in the front. And that's how I started writing. So my first beat was like, you know, just general writing. Then that's how I got into entertainment. And so then I ended up in LA. Exactly. And it was like boom. And I always worked in the technology space. For my corporate job, I was always in technology. So I went from entertainment and then I went to tech. And then I got a call, I got another email. This time it was from Ford Motor Company. It was Ford and Lincoln. Yeah. And they was like, hey, would you be interested in coming to auto show? And I was like, I've never been to an auto show in my life. You know, so again, I'm always asking the questions. Well, how did you call me? Well, how did you call me? And she was like, we wanted someone that was authentic to invite into this space to talk about technology and cars. That's how I ended up writing lifestyle. So now I'm in cars. I'm going to all the trade shows. I'm doing drives.
And you learned so much about cars, didn't you?
Oh my gosh! And but what was so crazy was like there were very little Black folks, and then women. It was like old, you know, old dusty white men or what have you talking about cars. And I was like, listen, I was like, if this head seat does not have enough width, or if it does not have enough room in the bag for us to go out on a girl's time, or for me to be able to put on my makeup, like simple, you know, simple things that may, you know, not make any sense to anyone else. But if you're targeting Black women and folks for your vehicles, you need to understand how it is that we drive, how it is that we use the utility of a vehicle, which is totally different from a white suburban mom.
That's true.
Totally different.
Yes, and we definitely got to have our makeup tray, and we got to have our cup holder. We definitely got to have some nice music in there.
Listen, like all the things, right? And so I started writing about that. So then it was, oh, well, while you're here with this vehicle, can you also write about this hotel? And I was like, okay, yes, I'll do
Yes.
So my first official press trip, I'll never forget it, is I was in LA. So again, I'm doing cars. Now I'm doing lifestyle. I'm doing all the entertainment things. And I got a call and it was like, hey, would you like to come to Nevis? And I was like,
Nevis. Okay.
Absolutely. And it was at the same time as the BET Awards.
Oh, wow.
And I was supposed to be on the carpet that year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. Like, I went to the BET Awards like 10 times. Like, I'm good on
I'm going to Nevis, okay?
I'm going to Nevis. And I went to Nevis, and that was my first luxury trip. And
you were like, okay, this is it. I found my niche.
And so that's how I started doing travel writing. That was my first press trip that I went to.
Yeah.
And so now, as I fast forward all these years now, I write. I don't write on demand. I write when I want to write. I write when it makes sense for me, or if I want to explore a different area and do different things. Yeah. And so now that's how I write. So I'm a freelance writer. Actually, I'm a freelance editor now. And so I've written for all the Black publications, Essence, Jet, Black Enterprise, Business Insider, all the things. And so now I do Destination Luxury. I've done Time, which was so cool. So now like I'm totally into luxury travel, but I still do luxury lifestyle depending on what's happening and going on. But that's something that like brings me joy. Yes. I would do it if they didn't pay me money to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because anything for me, if it feels like a job, then I don't get joy out of it. Which is another reason why I never started the podcast from Dragon Slayers, because it then would have been a job. Yeah. And if I'm going to do something, and if I'm going to put my name on it,
from your heart and soul.
And it also has to be, very polished. My brand is very buttoned up, and that's a job that I have to work at. So I do not want to have another job. So writing is my creative outlet, and like we were discussing beforehand, I just came back from Bermuda.
I was just going to ask you.
With the Bermuda Tourism Board, and I'll be going back in May again for print for editorial. But
she got an award?
Really good. No. I'm working on an editorial. For a magazine.
But you did get an award. I was looking at like I said, I was binging you, and you got 40.
Under 40.
Under 40. Yes, okay now.
Yes.
Clap for that. Clap for that.
Yes,
okay.
I did. Like I said, I'm 20 years in this in this business, communications, marketing, things of that nature. And so yes, I did get 40 under 40, which was which was a very it was a good monumentous occasion for me, because I work hard. I work my ass off, and so it was
deserved.
Yeah, so it was just really good to be recognized in that way.
Yes, congratulations to you on that. And I wanted to ask you, what are some of the favorite cities or countries that you've been to that you would recommend for our people?
Well,
I mean, like, there's always what you like more than the other, right?
Well, I will say this caveat. When I write and when I'm writing about travel, I don't write with a particular subset group in mind. Okay. I write for anybody who wants to explore and dream in color about what your luxury experience could be. Okay. Right? So when I go into a place, it's like with blind eyes, and I experience it the way that I need to experience it. So I would say the favorite, I have a one in, but I would say Paris, and it's very cliche-ish.
I love Paris.
However, Paris really depends on how you experience Paris.
It is, that's true.
Okay? Like, it could be totally different. You can go so many different times, but it's how you experience it. And so the first time I experienced Paris, I was a guest of the Dorchester collection that I had met in LA, but they are all over Europe. And I stayed at the Plaza Athene. Now, I'm sure everybody has seen Sex and the City.
Yes.
Okay, remember when Carrie went to Paris?
Yes.
Carrie stayed at the Plaza Athene.
That's right, she did.
Absolutely. I stayed in the Carrie Bradshaw room.
Okay. Wow.
So that whole where she comes up, she's like, like I did the exact same thing. I'm like, the plaza is like the top of 5
Yes,
stars.
it is. Yes,
there.
it is.
So my experience for Paris
like the cherry
was
with cream on
crazy.
top. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I went to the Eiffel
Tower,
and I had lunch at the top of the tower.
Isn't it beautiful?
Girl, it is
God,
amazing. But again, like all of my experiences were like at the top of the top. I went to the Louvre, of course.
Yes.
I had a private tour in the Louvre. So like those types of things, and so it was just mind blowing, and I just fell in love with Paris. I just
get a chance to go to the museum.
Girl, yes, I did all the things.
Yes.
I did all the and when we went, it wasn't super packed. And that's another thing too that I tell people: just book the damn ticket. There was a bombing that happened in Nice, and pretty much Europe, Paris, like anywhere around there, they just like cleared out. Yeah. All the Americans came back home, and he asked me, he was like, "Are you still gonna come?" I was like, "Absolutely, yes, I'm still gonna come."
Absolutely, and hold that thought. I'm so excited. Everyone, we'll be right back. This is WRJR with Queen's Court's Conversation with the beautiful, talented, brilliant, amazing Aniesia Williams. Hello, hi, this is Queen D with Queen's Court Conversation. We're back with the lovely, talented, brilliant, blessed Aniesia Williams, because God is working on her. She is a blessing, let me tell you. And we were talking about travel, and I love luxury travel. And we were talking about all the beautiful places. And we were talking about how Paris is and how we really should, everyone, if you get a chance, and you can, you got to strategize and figure out how to travel. Tell some of the things they can do.
Absolutely.
Drop some gems so they don't know.
Yeah, like go on the off season. Like I said, when I went to Paris, a bombing had happened literally like the days before in Nice.
Wow.
And
I remember
and when I went, the hotel was empty. I had the whole entire hotel to myself.
Isn't that amazing?
And in Plaza Athene, they have a 5-star a Michelin star restaurant. So I literally had all of the things and fresh croissant every morning by myself. It wasn't a soul in the hotel except for the workers. So when I went to the Louvre, again, it was empty. I was like the Mona Lisa is here, and I'm like right here, like taking the selfie with me and my girlfriend, like.
How lucky is, how blessed is she, right?
Like, I'm telling you, so travel when it's off season, you can really experience a lot, and food, all of that. Folks are slow down just a little bit better. Yes. The pricing is also better, as well. So definitely do that. I am like I said, I fly Delta, and so I have my Amex card. I also have a not City, it's Chase rewards points.
Chase rewards.
Points. I'm telling you, get those points. Because you can travel for free with those points. So I will pay like all of my bills on cable, all the other stuff on my card, and just transfer the money back so I can get the points.
Oh, now that's a gem right there. We all got to do that one.
Absolutely.
Write that down.
Even my American Express, my Reserve card. Oh, honey, I pay my mortgage with that, and I get
all those points.
Girl.
Yes. Okay.
I'm telling you, but that right there is how you can really do it. And then also lastly on travel, don't be afraid to be a tourist in your own city. So many folks live somewhere, they have no idea like what's going on, new restaurant openings, new hotel openings. That's true. Be a tourist, do a staycation. Go stay somewhere, go and experience something right there in your city. Date your city. Be in love with your city. Be a tourist in your own city. You don't have to, let me wait. And then lastly, like I said, if they don't want to go with you, go by yourself. Go by yourself. I travel by myself a lot. Like I will book the ticket. You can't go. I'm sorry, sis. I'm out. Like it is as simple as that because I want to experience things.
I have to laugh because that is so true. Travel by yourself if you have to. Because everybody is not going to be as brave and as curious.
And everybody don't travel like you and stuff. Like, listen, my friends know you traveling with me, baby. We don't
travel light. Don't bring too much.
If it's not an experience for me, I'm not doing it.
That's right.
I'm not doing it. I am that person who will leave you in customs because I have global entry. I will leave you.
She ain't waiting.
I'm not waiting.
And I don't blame you. Have you been to Africa yet?
I have. I went to Nairobi. I went to Cape Town. I went to Giraffe Manor. Had lunch there. They were so beautiful people. I went to I went to the Mari. We did a drive out in Nairobi where they filmed The Lion King.
Yes.
So the opening
exciting.
shot. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
like
wow.
I thought I was going like to
That's
die.
what I want to do.
So I glamped outside. It was the first time I've ever glamped outside, which was pretty cool.
I call it glamping.
Absolutely, it is. We went to where Michelle and Obama, where they planted their trees and everything out there. It was amazing. Went to Cape Town, stayed in wineries there. They have whole chateaus, honey. So it was amazing. But again, like I said, through that lens and eyes, I do luxury travel, so it was on 10 the entire time.
And that's why I love the word luxury travel.
Yeah.
That changes the game. That's a game changer.
It does. It does.
I love it. So you've done a lot of stuff. Now, how would you say your brand is branched out? Because you are multi-talented, multifaceted. So what would you say? How would you describe Aniesia Williams? I just love to say her name. It's so proper.
I say I'm a country girl with city-like tendencies.
That's how my mom was. She was from North Carolina and moved to New York.
Yeah. I'm authentic. I am, unapologetic about who I am.
I love that. Unapologetically you.
And I take those things and principles inside the boardroom, and inside of classrooms, inside of conferences, wherever it is that I am. I bring my whole self to whatever it is that I do. So people know that, like, if you want Aniesia, she's going to show up the way that she's supposed to show up every single time.
And that's what it's about, being dependable and loyal.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why the people call you, because they know that they can depend on your brand.
And they know
you're going to work hard, you're going to get it
Absolutely.
done. Right, so you're a go-getter. And, now I'm going to ask you a personal question. You're beautiful, you're talented, you're smart, you're definitely blessed, okay? What are you looking for in a man? This is Queen Court's conversation. What the girls want to know. It's like, hey, men, kings out there, she's single. You got to get in where you can fit in, because you're going to leave you at the airport, okay?
What I look for is someone that has emotional intelligence.
That's deep.
That is emotionally available.
And stable.
And is really after God's heart, because if he's after God's heart, then that means that he knows how to take care of mine. I'm over 40, so I'm beyond the he looks good, and like we're so like past that. It's like nowadays it's like the beard thing. It's like the beards have their time right now, right? And so
I'm glad that was over with.
And and that's all well and good. It is all well and good, but I want someone that is soft with me. I want somebody that can balance all of my crazy and things like that, that I can still learn from, and that he can learn from me. I want to be able to submit to this person. I want to be able to be, safe with this person.
Hold that thought. Now, did you hear what she just said? Now, we're talking about a powerful woman here, and she does not mind using the word submit. You know why? Because she's confident in who she is. So therefore, when she says submit, that means that she needs a support system. Isn't that what you're saying? Like, you don't mind being with an alpha male who knows how to take care of your needs mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. You don't mind submitting to that because you know that he's going to treat you right. He's not going to get confused with the word submit.
You know what? I think that the way that society has, just chalk this word up to submit, it always sounds like it's some type of
slavery thing.
Yeah, that's not it at all. That's not it at all.
That's right.
I have to be the queen of the boardroom every day at work and things of that nature. When I come home,
you want to exhale.
When I come home,
Okay.
I don't want to have
You don't want to be the queen at home.
I
You don't want to be not the
listen,
queen. You don't want to be the CEO at home.
Exactly,
Right?
I don't,
Yeah.
because for my future mate, that is his job.
Yes.
He is the king of this house.
Yeah.
And if these principles are right, then everything else will flow down. So it's
That's
not
right.
about him telling me what to do or
Right.
any of that stuff.
Right.
It's in alignment
Yes.
with this here.
Yes.
So again, if he has a heart and he's after God's heart to make sure that he's the provider and
Right.
that he can take care of his family and things like that, then I don't mind the submitting.
Right.
It's what you're submitting to.
Right.
That's what people
Absolutely.
don't get. Like,
Yes.
you can submit all day, but what are you submitting
What are you
to?
submitting to?
You see
Yes.
what I'm saying? So no, I don't. That's not a negative thing
not.
at all. But I think that's again not being in alignment and not understanding like this is what this is. I'm all about you designing whatever life that you
Yes.
want,
Oh,
the
yeah.
relationship
Design the
that
life
you want. Absolutely,
Right.
the relationship that you want.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to look like anything else that's out
Right.
there. It's
Yeah.
what you and that person decide that this is what it's going to look like.
And you heard it from a black girl, okay? This queen.
Absolutely.
And you know what? It's so important that we have these conversations because the young queens today, I don't know what's going on.
Honey, it's a city girl mentality out here,
I don't know.
like Shirlene the comedian. She's like, oh Lord, the city girl spirit over Atlanta, Lord, the city girl spirit. But you know, but that's what you hear in these songs. You know,
Yes.
it's F
Oh my
free.
gosh.
It's blah blah blah.
Ugh.
Checking like it's all of those
Oh my
things, and I'm
gosh.
just like, listen, like it's
Mm.
cute. It's a nice little bop,
Mhm.
for the radio.
Yeah.
But for me and for my personal life, like that is not. That's not it for me.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that not all, because this is a no judgment zone. I got to say that to you. But I think a lot of the younger girls, think that it's all physical, and they're actually going out getting plastic surgery, doing all these things, but they need to work on the interior and be confident in who they are. It's okay to get plastic surgery. We're not talking about that. Because let me tell you, when Queen wants it, she's going to get it too, okay? That's what I'm going to say. If I want them, get it. But what I'm saying is that I think they need to focus more on the interior of who they are and letting people see the real thing. Because a lot of times people are hurting. And hurt people, hurt people, right? They're in pain, And so they go after the wrong kinds of guys.
Well, you know what it
It
is.
draws in the wrong element, toxic relationships and stuff.
Well, you know what it is. I think that social media. You got to understand when we were growing up and things, we didn't have social media.
No, we didn't have it.
We didn't have any of those things. Child, I
Mhm.
didn't get a beeper until I was a sophomore in school. Child,
know.
I had a flip phone in
I
I
didn't
was
get
a
a cell phone until I
junior
got married.
in college. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so we didn't have those things.
Right,
There
yeah.
was it's like the thief of comparison is crazy. And so people put this facade on social to make it look so good, like they're
Comparison
happy
is a
all the
thief of
time
joy.
and all this other stuff or what have you, and that's what they think that they need in order for them to get a quality mate and things like that. And I'm like, honey, you don't need
No.
any of that.
No.
You don't need any of that. So I think that this generation, they do have all of these things.
Yeah.
So that's what they see.
Yes.
And so they think like, oh, I have to do this or I have to be like this.
Be a carbon copy of someone else.
Exactly. In order and I'm just like, honey, black women, we are the carbon copy.
We
honey.
are. Everyone's trying to copy us.
Everybody's trying to copy
Okay.
and be us.
We
Our
in style.
lips,
I can
our
already say
lips,
that.
our
Yes.
like
Lips and
everything.
hips. We in style.
Yes.
We always been in style.
Always. Folks spend millions to
Yeah.
get my lips.
That's right.
To get my hips.
I always say I'm in style.
Millions.
I'm in style.
Always. But
Exactly.
it's just a different time frame that that we're in, and it's unfortunate. But it goes back to, again, it's an inside job.
It is.
It's an inside job. You have to be happy with you. You also have to do the work.
Yes.
As well, because just because you get the money, just because you get the man, that doesn't mean that you're not, healthy to be able to be in a healthy relationship.
Right.
But it's a inside job.
Yes.
One. Number two, get you a circle of girlfriends that can also pour into you.
Yes.
That can also check you like, hey
Absolutely.
sis, like this internet is forever, honey. They will pull tweets, photo, everything from years on end, and
Stop
you
trying to
think
get
that
your
it
likes.
ain't happened, and now all of a sudden they trying to cancel you. Honey,
Yeah.
the internet is forever.
That's right.
It's forever,
That's
right?
right.
So,
That's
you know,
right.
making sure that you have good counsel
Yes.
as well
Yes.
as you are trying to do this thing. But
Absolutely, yes.
it's an inside job.
It is. It is. And I just wish that we wouldn't have to feel, because there's still, this is a delicate subject, but a lot of African American men, they get drawn into that Kardashian look. And then our women think that we need to look like the Kardashians. The Kardashians trying to look like us in the first place, okay? You know, and my concern is that why do, a lot of African American men feel that they should go and leave us out? Because a lot of African American women are saying they feel left out. And we're going to have to wrap this conversation, but when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation on WRJR, Queen Court's Conversation. We'll be right back. And we're back. I'm here with the lovely Aniesia Williams, and she's been dropping some gems. It's like she's a life coach. I told her, you know, it's because she's been saying some really important things that women need to hear today so they can feel that they're enough. That's the word, right? Enough. You know, and even if our men, because, you know, the late Kevin Samuels, oh boy, he was destroying a lot of self-esteems up there.
Look, this is my thing. This is my thing. I think that, you know, the statistics that black men are not choosing black women is false. There is actually, you know, data that is out there that, you know, black marriages and things are actually going up. I think it's like
that's refreshing.
70%,
that's encouraging.
You know, percentile or what have you. So that's one of the things that I definitely want to bust and miss. Number two, I think that, again, we have different tools and things like that. A lot of this is like fantasy type. Like, have you ever noticed where they'll be like, oh my God, like I saw such and such celebrity's girlfriend, and she looks like a regular, you know, next door person will have you, like, how is she with her? Because again, when it gets serious of who do I want to bear my children, who do I want to take home to my family, you know, who can I actually build with?
Men are not stupid.
Men are not like, you may look good, it may be a good time, like are you here for a good time or a long time? Exactly. And that's not who they're marrying.
Short term, long term,
Exactly. So, you know, they call them, you know, the internet girls or the IG models and stuff like that.
Instagram
like,
models.
Right. Those are not the ones that they are actually wifing and being mother to their children.
Right.
And it happens every now and again, but again, like that's not reality.
Yeah, that's not
so
reality.
You have to understand what is for play and what is actually for real. And so for me, I don't put out anything out there that I'm not proud of, that a client won't look at my page and be like, oh, like what is Aniesia doing? That my mom,
got to be careful.
You know, that my mom or my family is not like, okay, you know, like what's happening going
careful,
on. So I'm proud of what absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of what I put out there. But also too, my future king is watching.
That's
my
right.
future husband
I love how she
is
said
watching.
that. That's right. You
You
speaking
hear
it
what
into
I'm
the
saying?
atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And he's watching.
Yes.
And he's looking for me.
Yes.
And so what he sees, I want that to make sure that that's a good representation of him, because that's a mirror carbon copy. You see what I'm saying? So it's, again, what are you putting out there?
Right.
For you trying to, you know, get this man or this king that you're trying to get.
Yes.
And I want to be a wife.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's where God called me to be, as somebody's wife.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that I put out there the best representation that I can of me and what I'm about. You know, and I want to do that. So that's why you see me, I'm having fun.
Yes.
I'm living my life. You know, I may be putting on a conference or I may be in Bermuda. Like, but I'm having fun and I'm enjoying life.
Enjoying your life.
Absolutely.
Living your best life.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about, because I have even gotten men that come in my message and they'll go, you always look like you're so happy.
Yes.
You seem like you're a lot of fun. And sometimes I say, you know, a lot of black girls got attitudes. You know, angry black girl. And so I'm really happy to hear that you have said that the statistics say that black black people are marrying again.
Absolutely.
And it's going up.
Absolutely.
And that a lot of stuff is false because it really has put a stench on our race to always feel like our race is the only race that cannot get along.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and again,
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of things that's perpetrating. You said something about Kevin Samuels, and he was very interesting. One, I'm very conscious about who I listen to and who I let pour into me.
Yes.
You understand?
I love that.
So
I love that.
So that was one. So I did not listen to him. Number two, how he was with women. If you don't know how he started out doing this about men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He started out
That's
giving
how I
me
found
advice
out.
for
My
men.
son was like,
Exactly.
"Oh, this guy named Kevin
And he
Samuels."
was going in
And I
on
used to say,
men.
Who is this? Who
but
is this?
again, playing to audience. This is entertainment. Y'all don't understand. These people are entertainers.
Yeah, he's making money. He's
You
like,
understand?
he can make a
Exactly.
movie after that.
So this is entertainment. So you get more buzz and more controversial.
Yes.
You know, talking about women than you do with men.
Yes.
Okay. So that was number two about him. And then number three. Again, why are you subjecting yourself? Because these
Allowing
women are
yourself
calling.
to be verbally
I'm just
abused.
like, exactly. I'm like, you're calling
Why do you wanna be
him.
verbally
You
abused by
are
this person?
calling this man. You know that he will go in. Now,
Go in,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie. Some of the things that he was saying was very accurate.
Yeah, because he
and
wasn't
true.
stupid.
But
yeah.
because
But you know how to sell.
but because it was not the delivery. That's what it was.
Yes,
it was
the delivery.
It was the
Yes.
delivery that
Yes.
folks did not like. It was very brash. It was very in your face, harsh, and this is just what it is, or what have you. Because
Yeah.
women, we want things sugar coated, right?
Yes.
And he didn't do that.
Yeah.
So
I call him the Simon Cowell of the internet.
exactly. But that's who he was. But again, if you know who you are,
Yes.
you know whose you are, you cannot take advice and listen to any and everything that is out here on this internet. You can't do it.
But you know what frightened me is that a lot of women with PhDs were listening to this, and they were almost feeling as if I'm wrong. And I'm thinking, how could you listen to someone verbally abuse you and convince you that you're wrong? Just because, like you said, I'm waiting for my husband. I'm doing my best life, enjoying myself. So why would those intelligent women feel something is wrong with
Because
it?
sometimes you want the validation, right? You want the validation of what you're saying, you know, or what you're feeling or what you're doing is true or what have you, right? But again, like I said, you're getting the wrong validation from the wrong people. From the wrong
Definitely
people.
the wrong people.
The wrong people.
Yeah.
The wrong people. And again, like I said, it's an inside job. I go back to that. It is an inside job. This man can say whatever he wants to say, and it don't make me no never mind. It washes right over because you're not talking to me. Because
I know you're not talking to me.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
Yes.
You're not in my prayer closet.
That's right.
You don't know what
That's
the Lord
right.
said to me.
I got my war room, okay?
Right, so you don't know any of those things, you
Right,
know?
right.
But again, I know who I am. I know where my thoughts are. I know the things that I work on so that I can be a better person, so that I can be a better future wife. I know what those things are, and I don't need somebody who I don't know to tell me.
Tell you
to tell me exactly.
If you ain't Jesus, why are we listening?
I mean, but again, it's
Not God.
It's
right?
entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
So folks gotta discern entertainment value and what somebody is really trying to pour into you.
So I'm sure you've had people come into your DM and say, "You're a beautiful one. Why you ain't married? Why you ain't got a man?" I'm sure you've gotten that.
Absolutely.
Because we get that.
Yep.
As if we need a man to validate who we are. Okay? And we don't.
I get that.
Yeah.
And for me,
And where does that come from, you think, when men say that? Where do you think that's coming from in their mind?
because they're just trying to be curious to see if you're single, if you're open, or what have you, to get a response
Bingo.
back. Right. It's just to get a response back.
Yes.
But you know, for me, it's about the right person. It's not about the quantity. Yes.
No.
Like I am very.
That can be tiring.
You know, I'm blessed and fortunate to, you know, folks do reach out to me a lot, and I don't have a problem with dating.
Yeah.
But it's
But you don't want to waste your time. You want to make sure your time is with somebody that's
but
you
you know
feel
what?
is valuable.
It's about being aligned. It's about being in
The
alignment.
spirit's aligned, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also about being intentional about what you want.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I have met some wonderful men. So I'm not one of these women like, oh man, a dog.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't do
yeah,
that.
no, that's not me. I'm never.
Yeah.
You're never gonna
I
hear
do
me put down like
No.
a black man, like ever, right?
Mhm.
But it's about, is this the right person for me in this
Yeah.
season? It may not be the right season for us, and I may meet a wonderful guy, but it just may not be the time, you know? So
Yeah.
it's about the purpose, it's about the season,
Yes.
and what's right for me.
So I wanted to say thank you so much for stopping by. You dropped some gems, and I really appreciate that. And I know that everyone is going to really get something out of this, because that's what it's all about, having a conversation with another queen who can lift somebody's spirit. You know, I always say it resonates in the spirit if it's for them. That's what I always say. You know, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. And where can they find you, your handle and everything?
Yes, I am Aniesia everywhere. That is my handle.
Okay.
But thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you, and I
This is
appreciate
fun.
you. This is Queen Coast Conversation on WRJR. Thank you, and have a blessed week, everyone. I wanted to say this. These are for you. Because I believe that you deserve your flowers now.
Thank you so much.
And also this
Oh, that is so
Lorena
cute.
Wall, that's my lips. They shrunk it down. And put it on that, you know, put my little lip print on the Lorena Wall. So I just wanted you to have that.